We're going to talk about how an angle and understanding the angles in the game and in the golf swing are going to help you become an exceptional golfer. We're going to look at two of the great legendary golfers. Incredible stories about these two men who understood the principle of the angle in the golf swing. It is going to be exciting, it's going to be great, and we're going to get started right now. This approximately is a 90-degree angle, correct? Well, we're not going to talk about 90-degree angles. We're talking about a 45-degree angle. That's about 45 degrees. Keep that in your mind, because maybe the greatest instructor in the game today is Mac O'Grady. His knowledge, which he gleaned from Homer Kelly's famous book about the mechanics of golf, The Golfing Machine, it's called. Homer Kelly's book influenced O'Grady, and O'Grady formed MORAD, which was Mac O'Grady Research and Development. And his swing principle is based a lot on the principle of 45 degrees. At address, there's spine angle number one. This is your spine at address, but as you turn, it tilts slightly. Spine angle number two. You do not want spine angle number two ever to get past spine angle number one. So that means you stay right here and don't go any further than that as you go through the swing. That's an important spine angle. Spine angle, the other spine angle is this one. At address, again, this is your spine. You keep this angle. O'Grady says 45 degrees. It's not really 45, is it? But all through the swing, that angle stays. Most people do this. They lift and they come back and they lift again and even straighten up after impact. With O'Grady, you stay right here. That spine angle remains the same. Now, here's the most important truth. Mac O'Grady teaches 45 degrees to the target line, 45 degrees with the lead arm. It's the left arm for right-handers, and it's the right arm for left-handers. And you want that lead arm to be 45 degrees. Like this as you come into it, and then release and back. Looking at it from this side, this is 45 degrees. I want to take it back here, but as I come into it, I want that left arm right here to be 45 degrees until I hit it. 45 degrees. This way and this way. You got to work on those three things, those three spine angles. And trust me, everything Mac O'Grady says is the absolute truth about the golf swing. You know why we know that? The guy went through qualifying school 17 times. He won twice on tour and then simply stepped away and went into teaching, and his lists, including teaching people like Seve Ballesteros and so many others who trusted in O'Grady's principles of the angles. And that I knew O'Grady, I know O'Grady, and I just respect him so much. He played in the Atlanta Golf Classic years and years ago when he was still on tour, and I caddied for him. Just wanted to do it because he was a friend. He was playing with Brad Faxon and Ben Crenshaw, two of the greatest putters ever on tour. I remember the ninth hole. It was dog leg uphill. Faxon hits it out to the right. Crenshaw has to hit it out to the right because the dog leg, and there's a big bunker there. O'Grady simply, with that beautiful simple swing of his, flies it over the bunker. He's got a 9-iron in. They're hitting 4 woods. They both hit it on the green, make the putts for birdies. O'Grady hits it on with his wedge, runs his putt by, and misses it. So O'Grady, greatest ball striker, maybe not the best putter. He was like Ben Hogan. he just didn't have a lot of respect for putting in the game. I guess that's why he went into teaching. But you can learn more from Mac O'Grady than anybody. And if you want to invest in something that really challenge your mind, get Homer Kelly's golfing machine. That will test your mind and maybe even blow your mind. The next great player instructor who also had a brief but brilliant career as a touring pro, but a greater contribution as an instructor. We're talking about a dear, dear friend of mine. Just loved him so much. What a good person. And that was Bert Yancey. He was a great player. He was obsessed with the Masters and was right in the hunt several years in a row. He won 7 times out on the tour, including establishing a long-time relationship at Harbor Town at Hilton Head when he finished second to Arnold Palmer in that very, very, very first tournament there where the famed lighthouse sits behind the 18th. And it established a long-time relationship between Bert Yancey and Hilton Head Island, where he set up the classical school of golf. So we're going to learn from Bert Yancey about angles. His contribution to me was in the short game and the angle of the right wrist. This angle, we'll talk more about it when we're chipping, but on a pitch shot, which the pitch shot and the putting and the chipping, that's really what makes you a great golfer. You're going to score well if you do those. Most people are flippers. In other words, the right hand just goes right past the left. And people swing and they flip it. Well, I actually got a pretty good shot out of it. But when you flip it, you're going to blade it. You're going to pull it offline. He said, set your wrist, your right wrist like this, and keep that right wrist all the way through the golf swing. So you have a nice firm chip shot, pitch shot. The pitch shot looks like this. Oh, isn't that a thing of beauty and so easy to do? That was a little 50-yard pitch shot with a 50-degree sand wedge. Let's do it again. Keep that right angle, that wrist. There it goes again. That's the butterfly with sore feet kind of a landing. Just that beautiful wedge shot, and it all comes from setting that right wrist with that angle and keeping it all the way through the swing. So what all that has to do with Bert Yancey, he had to leave the tour, regrettably, because he had bipolar disorder. He was a brilliant student at West Point, captain of the golf team, but at that time they kind of diagnosed it as a nervous breakdown. He, at LaGuardia Airport, thought he was called by God to end discrimination, walked up in front of everybody, had the black Americans and the whites separated, and he began to give a sermon, a loud sermon on civil rights and the right of black people and white people to have equality in this nation. He felt so strongly about it, but he had just gone off. It was bipolar. It was bipolar. He boarded a plane once and went to Japan because he thought he was hired by the CIA. Lithium solved the problem, which is good. It does. But what lithium did, he couldn't putt anymore. His hands were shaking, and this was terrible for Bert Yancey. Jackie Burke once said that Bert Yancey putted so great that having Bert Yancey's putting stroke was like stealing money. But once that was gone, Bert left the tour and started that classical school of golf.
Bert, that was quite a second shot you hit there.
Well, it was real lucky, Jimmy. I just happened to catch the right club and a pretty good lie in the rough over there. It wasn't too heavy, and the ball sat up pretty well, and I got a little draw, and it just happened to kick straight.
I was standing up here on the green, and I saw it just run along the side of that bunker there,
Yeah.
And that's a fine eagle. And through the second hole, Bert Yancey takes the lead.
Nothing is more fun in golf than to Chip one in. Yay! Bert Yancey's teaching us how to chip is the same principle as the pitch, the lob. That is the angle of the right wrist. And you keep that all the way through. See, I've got it set, and then you just brush the ground. Brush the ground. Thank you for watching Absolutely Amazing Golf. If you haven't subscribed and you like what we do, subscribe now. We need you, like we need all our faithful viewers. Thank you for watching, and as always, may your golf and your life be absolutely amazing.